Hello and welcome to another edition of this program in which we are speaking with the political leadership of this country, the people who are involved in the waging of the liberation struggle for Zimbabwe's independence. Tonight we have Comrade Kumbirai Kangai, one of the prominent and eminent nationalists of that time, who was former member of Dare Chimurenga and held many positions within the party, including that of a Secretary for External Affairs, but now a member of the committee, a committee member in the Politburo. Comrade Kangai, we cannot talk of the history or the independence and liberation of this country without you. You were an eminent participant. Naturally, everyone would like to know how you began this whole career. It's a long journey from childhood up to now. We would like to get a glimpse of some of those highlights of that life, that journey. How did you begin here, then Rhodesia?
Well, yeah, I started just as a child of Sunday school. While I was in the Sunday school, I think it was about 1957, 58. It was 57. I asked a question to the teacher.
What school were you going to then in the village you were born in?
I was already in the secondary.
Oh, okay.
Right. Now, I asked the teacher a question and said, you know, Adam and Eve were said to be the first people. And they had Abel, Cain and Abel as their children. Cain killed Abel. And then God asked and said, where is your brother? He says, I'm not the keeper of my brothers. He says, just tell me where your brother is. Well, he admitted that he killed him. Mm-hmm. But then he was told, you move from here, go to the east and stay there. Then he said, if I go to the east, I will be killed. You should give me an insignia so that I won't be attacked by the people out there. Now I asked the question, and I said, where did these people come from? If Adam and Eve were the first people, I provoked anger in the missionary. And
your teachers were missionaries?
Yeah, they were missionaries. Says, what? You have got a bad spirit, you. Get out. So I was sent out from the church where we were having Sunday school. Now I went to the dormitory and slept there. At about 5, the principal came and said, you come to my office. I went to his office. He said, you know, you are very stubborn. Why did you ask such a question? I said, I wanted to know why this Cain was saying, if I go to the east, I will be killed. Give me an insignia. Who would kill him? Who were the other people? If Adam and Eve were the first persons.
And Cain and Abel were their first children. Where else would they go and be killed?
Yeah. I provoked the wrath of the principal. He says, right, you will come to my office every day, 5 o'clock, and I will beat you first. After beating you, and then we'll pray together. And I said, okay. Then I was beaten.
So you went every day?
Yes, I went every day.
And you were being caned?
I was being caned. After being caned, we pray. Then after that...
what was the prayer like that the missionaries...
He says, God help us with this child and remove the evil spirit which he has. And I said, okay. From that minute, I never respected them. I never really believe what they were preaching.
But
so
the question was not answered that you had asked in Sunday school.
No, it was not answered.
Have you ever had the occasion in your life to find an answer to that question?
No, I have not been able to find an answer to that question. But I said, I wanted to know. Well, I then described them as hypocrites. I knew what they were saying was not really in connection with the real truth of things. So from there, I just it went quietly. I was joining the youth league quietly, and then came the National Democratic Party. I was a member, but quietly.
Still in school?
Still in school. Mm-hmm. And then I finished school. I went out.
What school? What is the name of that school, Comrade Kangai?
Zimuto Secondary School.
Oh, you were also at Zimuto?
Yes.
Do you remember some of the people you were with at school that were involved in this political activity?
I remember many of them who were with me. Kumbirai, Hungwe.
Okay.
And Rugare Gumbo was also there.
Were you in the same group with
No.
Gumbo, or who was older there?
I was older.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I was older. Then from there I just didn't believe what the missionaries were saying. And then of course it went on. I just went on campaigning, joining the liberation movement.
The activities, political activity.
Political activity. ZAPU came, and we were the youth in ZAPU. While I was a teacher.
Oh, you then became a teacher?
Yes, then I became a teacher. Then
where were you teaching?
I was, first I taught at Zimuto Primary School. And then from there I went to Nyashan Mission, and I taught there.
Just after your secondary education, they took you back to teach?
Right.
Because I hear that during the time that Rugare Gumbo was at Zimuto, Solomon Mjuru was at Zimuto in primary. Is it correct?
I will come to that.
Okay.
When I taught at my first teaching post was at Zimuto Primary School. That's where I taught Solomon Mjuru.
You actually taught him?
I taught him in Standard 4. He was one of my bright students. I taught him Standard 4, and then I left Zimuto and they went to Nyashan Mission. And went there, I taught many people. I had 2 years there. From there, I went to Mutare Teacher Primary. At Mutare Teacher Primary, it was hot. Politics was just the thing that we talked about. Then from there, I went and taught in Murewa. I went to Murewa, and then of course, in Murewa, half of my time was in politics.
Which years were these, Comrade Kangai, from secondary school at Zimuto, and then you started teaching up to Makore? Which period? 60s,
Right.
50s?
My first teaching post was 1960, and then I moved to Nyashan Mission, and I had 2 years there, 61 and 62. And then I moved to the teacher training college. From there, then I went to Murewa. In Murewa, I was actually almost full-time politician.
What was happening there?
It was hotbed, Murewa. The parents there were so political conscious that I mean, you couldn't do anything without really addressing the issue of colonialism. The parents, okay, we taught the young boys and girls, but at night we would have meetings with the parents, and we discussed all ways of resisting colonialism. No, don't pay poll tax. Don't go to the dipping tank. Don't accept policemen. That was our major target. Vanamai, you should never entertain a policeman. Now what then happened? At one of the meetings, I addressed the meeting there, and some of the kids were, you know what was called Madiro? During that period, we said, no, it's not a good idea to get youngsters and take them all night to a meeting. No. So the youth who were involved in that were beaten up. I addressed the people, finished it. When I finished addressing the people, I didn't know that there was an informer who took down everything I said and then it to the police. One day I left the school. I went to a neighboring school. When I left the school, 2 of the teachers were arrested. And then one of the youngsters circled and came and informed me and said, you know, you were first on the list. And then the other 2 teachers were arrested for political activities. I said, okay. I didn't want to go to school, back to the school. I knew they would come at some point. Then I went to the Mrewa township and slept at a place where there was someone I knew. We slept there. Following morning, I went back to the school. When I got to the school at about 10 o'clock, the police came. I ran away.
10 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, in the morning. I ran away. And I told the people there never to tell them that I was around. So they asked, where is Kumbirai Kangai? And they said, no, we don't know where he is. So the police went back. And then I came back to the school. At night, I went to sleep at some place. I couldn't sleep at the
At
school.
your house,
Yeah. They came midnight
looking for you.
looking for me. No, they couldn't find me. And then second day they came again, they couldn't find me. Now on a weekend, on a Sunday, there was a friend of mine, Daniel Matondo, who came to Murewa. He heard that I was being sought by the police. He said, hey, leave this place because these people will kill you. So I packed my things and joined his car, drove and came to Harare. When I got to Harare, they were trying to get me out of Rudisha to Zambia. They failed.
Daniel Matondo.
Daniel Matondo and the underground movement. They were trying to get me out of Rudisha. No, they failed. After about 2 weeks, I decided no, I should go back.
To school?
To school. I went back, got into the school, started resuming teaching. And then the police came. Yeah, are you Kumbirai Kangai? I said, yes, I am. Says, can you come with us? We want to talk to you. I said, fine. There's a very interesting story. I knew they were arresting me. So I sent some youngster to the house to go and get my overcoat. So then I called him, hey, wene bachirangu? Ndakudagiswa motikari nemapurisa. Of course, the whole school stopped teaching. Every child
Kumbirai Kangai being put into a truck.
Coming, and I was put in the truck. Off I went.
To Murewa police.
To Murewa police. I was detained there for 3 months. While I was detained there, there was a debate in the police. The police said, no, we don't want to send him to the detention camp because it was fashionable that time. People were sent to Wawa, to Skombela, and so forth. They said, no, we want to charge him so that he goes to prison.
Proper prison.
Proper prison. And they charged me with sedition. I said, oh, fine. I stayed there for 3 months. Now, when the day came where the magistrate came and I was taken to court, the witnesses, the young people who were supposed to witness, disappeared.
From the school where you were teaching?
Yeah, from the school where I was teaching. They disappeared. And then I walked in. The magistrate said, your case is withdrawn because there are no witnesses. I left. The minute I walked out of the court, I was arrested again by the police. The police said, no, you will not stay here in Murewa. I said, why? I said, get into the car. I was taken to the police camp. They gave me some papers there to sign. And then they left and said, where do I stay now? He says, yeah, you stay in those little huts there where the witnesses stay. So, okay. I slept there and I asked him, What about my blankets? Where do I get blankets? He says, oh yeah, you get those sacks there.
Gurarira pamasaga ipapo.
Gurara pamasaga ipapo. Ah, okay.
And these were black policemen.
Oh yeah. They were black policemen and the Mujoni, the white constable. I stayed there for 3 days. The third day I got up, I was very angry. I went to the member in charge and said, hey, listen, I was told by the magistrate that I have no case to answer. I should go. My case was withdrawn. Why was I arrested again? What crime if I committed? And he says, fortunately, the member in charge there was a new one. The old one who was there had been transferred. Now that one was very friendly. He says, oh, teacher, okay, let's ask the constable who arrested you. So I was given a policeman to go to that constable. The constable saw me. He was angry.
The white constable.
The white constable was angry. He says, what? You are a liar. I said, why? He says, you know you addressed a meeting and you deny that you did not address a meeting. Get off. Now the constable,
the one who had accompanied you to this one,
who had accompanied me, he just scratched my leg and said, you keep quiet. So I kept quiet. I said, oh, okay, let's go. We went back to the member in charge. The police officer said, oh, the constable said he had nothing to do with him. And the member in charge said, oh, you can go. So from there, I packed my things.
Back to school?
Back to school. When I went back to school, the school had been closed. It was now in December.
Oh, it was holiday?
It was holiday. Okay. I packed my things and I went home to my home Boera. Kumusha. Mm-hmm. So after the holiday, I came back and I had, there's another teacher who has been put here in your place. I said, oh. I just kept quiet. School started. I found I had no class.
You were not given anything to teach?
I was not given anything. So I talked to the member in charge, to the school superintendent. I said, what is happening? I said, no, we want you to go to Chikwizo. There was a school called Chikwizo there.
Chikwizo in Mtoko?
In Mrewa.
In Mrewa?
Yeah. Chikwizo. What for? Says, they want to start a standard 4 there, so you can go and teach there. Okay, I went back. 2 weeks later, I went back. Said, hey, what's happening? He says, things are being worked out. So I came here to Harare, to the head office, education department. I said, I want to know what is my position. So what is your name? I told him. Opened. He says, you were blacklisted. I'm blacklisted. He says, yes, you can never teach here. You got involved in politics. So I left. But when I left, I stayed only for about only 2 weeks. And I got a job in the Ministry of Labor as a public assistance officer.
Okay.
And I started working there.
Here in Harare now.
Here in Salisbury at that time, yeah. While I was working there, I heard there was a cultural center of the United States. So I went there. They said, yes, we are giving exams to select students who will go abroad and study. I said, fine. So I went and wrote the exam. There were quite a number of us. The Forbes Madzongwe was one of them. We wrote the exam, and I passed the exam. Now, to get a passport, that was the problem. I knew my name, Kumbirai Kangai, was a bad one with the special branch. So I applied the passport under a different name. My Shtupa name was Manyika. And I went and applied and said, I am Mr. Manyika Manyika. This is the passport.
You still have it?
It's a photocopy. I have the passport.
Manyika, actually.
And
Yes.
and I left Salisbury scot-free, just like any normal person, and he left for the US and got
As Manyika Manyika.
yeah, Mr. Manyika Manyika. That was my name. And then later on, I said in here, no, my proper name, because my certificates were saying Kumbirai Kangai. I said, no, Manyika Manyika is my other name, but my real name, I'm called Kumbirai Kangai. Fine. From there, and then I went to school. But
You went to the United States or to Canada?
to the United States. When I was there in the United States, I was preoccupied with politics. We wanted to organize the Zimbabweans who were studying there to focus on Rhodesia. We want to liberate our country.
You then enrolled to study what?
I enrolled to start public service. I did public service, public health, and I did medical technology. I finished that. But while I was studying there, I became a member of Zimbabwe students in the United States. The Zimbabwe students in the United States was fairly a very strong organization. After about 2 years, I was elected into the executive of the Zimbabwe student organization.
Who were the other executive members you were elected with?
Utete,
Charles Utete?
Charles Utete, there were many. And then during my third year, I started, it just came out of my mind and said, no, it's pointless to focus on student union only. We must focus on ZANU and ZAPU. There is nothing like called neutral. There were some students who were saying, we are neutral, we are not ZANU, we are not ZAPU. I said, there's nothing like that. I preached that gospel very strongly. And then at the end, when we met for our conference, I I organized people there. Let's stop this Zimbabwe student in the United States and focus. Those who are ZAPU, they go to ZAPU. Those who are ZANU, they go to ZANU. We focus on organizing material for the people at home. It was really heated debate. And there were some who were saying, no, we are neutral. We don't want it to be called ZANU or ZAPU. No, we are neutral. I said, how can one be neutral when a country is colonized? But the championed that cause anyway. The chairman of the public service, Nzua.
Maria Nzua.
Yeah, was one of them. Quite a Matthew Dauramanzi was he had a degree in pharmacy. He was the director of medical services here. Quite a number. So we succeeded in neutralizing the support for the student organization and focus on the political. And then, of course, Zebediah Gamanya. He was one of my friends, and we organized very well. We sent a material to Skombela, to Wawa. We sent.
Which years were these again?
This was about 66, 67. Went organizing and raising material and sending the material and money to the people who were detained.
At that time, who were the people eminent who were detained in those times?
The people who were detained were Robert Mugabe, Ino Singala, Maurice Nyagumbo, Edgar Tekere, Morton Malianga, and who else? There were quite a number.
You had met these people whilst you were still a youth here?
Yeah,
you interacted with them?
We had an office here at the Vanguard. I don't know which place now.
Vanguard House.
Vanguard House. That's where we used to meet before ZANU was banned. When ZANU was banned, we were having clandestine organizations. This Nelson Mawema's house in Highfield, we would go there. It's very interesting how we were meeting. You say, we are not allowed to gather 5 people at one time. So what you do, you would go one person at that house. 5 minutes later, someone goes in. 5 minutes later, someone goes in, and we would organize people to send people to the detention camps. You see, it was very interesting because it was banned. You were not allowed to gather more than 5 people at one time. You see.
So in the United States now, you were sending materials to people in the detention centers, Kombela, Wawa, and
Right.
so on.
Right.
And then what was the consciousness like amongst the students that you were organizing or mobilizing in America? What did they feel then?
Students, a large number of students felt very strongly that colonialism has to go. we have to be our own liberators. That's how they felt. The majority of them. There were some who were, as I said, who were neutral. Says, no, we don't want to get involved in ZAN politics or ZAP politics. No. But there were few. The majority of the students were committed on the liberation of Zimbabwe.
Mm-hmm. Now, in the United States, you lived there for how long?
I lived there for 6 years. Yeah. Then later on, what happened was with my connection with the party, I was made chief representative in North America. So I was coordinating the United States, Canada, and the Caribbean. I traveled a lot. I traveled every city there was a Zimbabwean, and I would call them at night, and then we would discuss about the situation at home. Chicago, New York, Washington, D.C., all the cities, I visited them.
You met people like Dr. Dennis Nyamuswa then?
Yeah. Oh, I met quite a number of them. Some of them are here, and we really had a lovely time. What I did was I would travel. I was then centered in San Francisco. From San Francisco, I would go city by city. Los Angeles, at night, I gather all the students from Zimbabwe, and then we discuss politics. I live there. I go to Chicago. I go to New York. I go to Washington, D.C.
This was now full-time work
for
the party.
It was almost full-time work, but I was still a student, until I finished my studies. The minute I finished my studies, I joined the full-time liberation struggle. I went to Tanzania.
You were called back or what?
Yeah, in fact, I said I am prepared to join the liberation struggle full-time. Now they said, okay, you come over here.
Who called you from there?
Comrade said, you come over here. We were about 4 of us. We had said we were going to join full-time.
Who are some of these colleagues of yours?
One was this Ngoni Machirori, and the other one was what this chap? I'm forgetting the name, and the other one. But when it came to the time for going, only Rugare Gumbo turned up.
Okay.
So Rugare Gumbo and I, we joined at the same time.
So you left America, North America, came to Dar es Salaam?
I went to Dar es Salaam.
Rugare Gumbo went to Lusaka?
We went to Lusaka. I went to Dar es Salaam and said, oh, welcome, comrade.
Who did you meet in Dar es Salaam then?
I met Mataure.
John Mataure?
John Mataure and other comrades, Gwauya.
Webster
Gwauya, and a number of other comrades there. So I started joining, working at the camp.
Oh, you went straight into the camps, the training camps?
No.
The offices.
I first went to the office, to the Liberation Center. Then I worked there. While I was there, I was then called to Lusaka. So I went to Lusaka.
And you met, who did you meet in Lusaka?
Oh, I met Noel Mkono, I met Hamad Ziripi, I met, of course, Chitepo had been communicating, and I met Shamerira, I met quite a number of them. So we worked there. And when it came to, because the Dare's life was 2 years, biannual election. So when we went for the election, I was elected into Dare.
Who nominated you, do you remember?
I don't know.
You don't remember?
I don't remember who nominated me. I was nominated and I won. And I became a member of the Dare. We were 8.
With responsibility for what?
I was responsible for, to begin with, I was responsible for education, labor, and social welfare.
Seeing your background being in education and labor.
Right. And then we worked for some time like that. There were only 8 members of Dare Rechimurenga. Comrade Chitepo as chairman, and we had Mukudze Mudzi as administrative secretary, and we had Hamad Ziripi. At some point he was treasury. We had Tongo Gara as secretary for defense. We had Mataure as commissar. We had Noel Mkono as secretary for external relations. And we had then myself, then Comrade Chitepo.
Rugarigumbo also.
Rugarigumbo was publicity, you see. So we were 8. It was a very difficult time. It was a strict organization. We met at any time. We are just called to a meeting.
Almost daily.
Almost daily. Decisions had to be made which affected the struggle.
How did you relate with Chitepo as chairman? How was he like as you were working with him?
I tell you, Chitepo was a fascinating man. He was very clear. He was a brain behind the liberation struggle. He means no words. These Boers will have to go. And what we have to do is to liberate the country. Now, at that point, before even I was elected in Tulare, there were a series of debates taking place in Lusaka at the Liberation Center. One, we said, look, this business of sending 5-6 people across the Zambezi, then they are captured. We send another 5, 6, 10, they are arrested. We must do guerrilla warfare. And the guerrilla warfare, what it entails is educating the masses first. When you educate the masses, when you go in, you are going into the masses who are knowledgeable, who know what the struggle is all about. So we discarded that policy of sending people across the Zambezi.
You sent quite a number of groups at that time, and what was their fate?
The Chinoi.
Or the Chinoi battle?
The Chinoi battle, how many were there? There were about 8 of them. They were wiped out. You see, we sent group after group. We said, no, we should stop this business.
Where did for example, the Chinoi group, where were they trained?
The Chinoi group was trained in Tanzania. They were trained in Tanzania. They came through into Zambia, and then, of course, were infiltrated.
Who trained them? Were you by then making contact with the Chinese, or you trained?
Right. I'll get to that. The training, they were trained also by the Chinese, and also they were our own trainers, like Comrade Ndagana. He was a trainer. He trained those
the group of 8 Chinoi of Chinoi.
Right. So we stopped, and then we said we have to send in people who will talk to the people, so the people know about the guerrillas. When the guerrillas come in, they're just like anybody. You don't know who is who. And now...
But the ideas had to be
right.
infused
now
into the
then
people.
That came in Frelimo. We started talking to Frelimo.
Who was your first contact in Frelimo when you were in Lusaka?
The president himself, Machel, Samora Machel. He liked the idea, and he said, right, we will get your people, and they will put on the uniform of Frelimo, and they enter Tete. From there, then they enter into Rhodesia. It was very interesting.
What year was that, if you remember?
That was the discussions with Frelimo started about 1970. Chairman Chitepo held several meetings with Frelimo, and we, the top leadership of Dare, we had meetings with Frelimo.
Samora Machel and his group.
Samora Machel and his group.
But
his group, they were selected. Not everybody in Frelimo knew that we were going in that kind of relationship with the ZANU-PF, you see. Then we picked the first 45 that went into
with Frelimo into Tete.
They went into Frelimo, Tete, and then they entered into Rhodesia.
That was the first group. Do you remember the people in that group?
Of course, the Rex Nongo. They were Mea Urimbo. They were Chinamaropa. They were this Johnny Guitira. The Chauke, Johnny Guitira, Chauke, and that was the nucleus of the whole group. They went. I will have at some point to tell you battles which were critical, which were decisive.
At that period, with that group?
That group went in and attacked Altena Farm. That was really the telling point, that we are here to stay. And Ian Smith said, it's only a 9-day wonder. Sorry. he was mistaken. They attacked the Altena farm, and they tried to find out who did and who to arrest. Nobody. They were just like any villager. You see?
Just a bit back at during the days of Lusaka, when you were in Lusaka, a lot of things happened in Lusaka, Comrade Kangai.
Sure.
Let us just examine some of those things according to your own experiences and how you saw things. There were a lot of conflicts. People broke away to form Frolizi.
Yes.
ZAPU itself was having its own problem. There was a lot of fighting. Just give us a description of what was happening in Lusaka at that time.
I will start with the fighting in ZAPU. There was Jason Moyo and Slundika. They formed their own group. Chikerema and George Nyandoro, they also formed their own group. There was friction there. And that's when we were able to recruit from ZAPU. This late commander, Mujuru, was a former ZAPU.
How was he recruited? What actually happened for him to cross over?
You see, what happened when there was a conflict, there was stalemate, no progress in the liberation struggle. So these comrades got discouraged. Then they made fillers, and they came to ZANU. Manyika, Robson Manyika, this Nari also came from ZAPU.
Even Badza himself?
No, Badza was
on your side.
Yeah, was on our side. They crossed, I think there were about 8 or so of them.
Since you knew Solomon Mujuru, you knew him from Zimuto.
Right.
You taught him.
Of course.
And he was also known to Garagumbo.
Yes.
Was it difficult for him to cross over from ZAPU to, because of that background?
You know, he crossed over. I came to Lusaka in, I think, 71. Then, he said, do you know me? I looked, I couldn't remember. He said, I'm Solomon Mujuru. I said, my people. And we got to know each other from there.
Had he crossed over already?
He had crossed over.
Okay, you arrived in Lusaka when he was already in ZANU.
He was already in ZANU. They were at that point preparing to go back in the country. So that's when in 72 the Altena farm was attacked, which was very instrumental, because it really gave the message that we have come. And from there, let me just give you some experience. The people that went into Tete and then later on crossed into Rhodesia, they got some point, and the old people said, what's wrong with our people? Here in Mozambique, you hear, huh? The guns, they are fighting to liberate their country. What happened to these people? Chikerema, George Nyandoro, what happened to these people?
Who was saying this?
These were the peasants.
The ordinary people?
The ordinary people.
in Mount Arundel.
Yeah. They said, well, we told you we are Frelimo. No, we are not Frelimo. We are Zimbabweans. We have come here to find out whether you people are ready to fight. They had gathered weapons at some hill. They said, let's go with you and show you. They went and showed them. Weapons. Says, yes, we are Zimbabweans, we have come to fight. What we want are your sons and daughters. The old people were very happy, man. They organized the sons and daughters, and from there the struggle started having people, numerous people.
Recruiting was now not so difficult.
And they said, okay, let's go to Mbuyaneanda. They went to Mbuyaneanda, Spirit Mutual. Who said, yes. I said, mapfupa angu achamuka. Ndiva vamuri kuona. We have come to liberate the country. From there, the peasants were fired in what was we called it northeastern.
The northeastern front.
Yeah, the northeastern front. The women and children were all recruited, and that's why I said it. The Altena Farm attack was very critical.
It was very significant.
Very significant. It did send a message.
These were can you say, the results of the organization of the Dar es Salaam.
Right. That was the organization of Dar es Salaam, where they said, we now want to embark on guerrilla warfare. Guerrilla warfare means you go in, you teach people that there are fighters who are coming. And when these fighters come in, they just are like anybody.
They swim in the pit.
They swim like fish in the water. And you can't tell whether this one is a gorilla or that one is not. You see, that was critical, because from there we started sending people inside the country, all over, conscientizing the people that the liberation struggle will have to be fought, and you are the people who are to fight.
You are your own liberators.
We are our own liberators, and we don't expect anybody from anywhere to fight for us. You see,
just back to Lusaka, during the deliberations of Dar es Salaam, did you on occasions disagree a lot, or you agreed a lot? And how was it working?
I tell you, we had meetings which started at 5 p.m. until 7 a.m. All night we argued, we gave examples, and I am a student of the Vietnamese War. When I was in the United States, we were reading reports of the Vietnamese downing the B-52s, and I got convinced that if these Vietnamese are able to fight the almighty and powerful United States, we can do it. It was said the Ian Smith regime has got a very efficient military power. They've got an air force which is very swift. We said, no, we are going to fight. And I got convinced that if we employ guerrilla warfare, because the people are on our side, and all we need to do is to conscientize them, to direct them. And that's all we did.
So you were the main mover of that motion, so to speak.
I tell you, we had endless nights of acrimonious debates.
Did you ever have any tension amongst yourselves as the 8 members of Darere Chimurenga?
The all 8 members of Darere Chimurenga, we were one. Once we adopted the new thrust, that was it, and we were all agreed on this new thrust.
How were you getting resources like money, like weapons?
Okay. First, I said there was a friction between Jason Moyo and Slundika, and then Chikerema and Nyandoro. All right. We also had problems. We had people who said, no, we want, okay, it started on the election. Chitepo was the chairman. And there were some who wanted a change. And when they tried to change...
Who in particular wanted a change?
we had Shamarira, who was at the forefront of this change. We went for election. They were beaten.
He's the one who stood against Chitepo.
Right. They were beaten and they lost. That's where Forodis started. They said, well, no, we will form our own party. And then they went, we formed Forodis, which didn't, it didn't materialize at all. These were conflicts which we had. Now, we also had conflicts when we had finally moved to Mozambique.